the cloud.
That's right. Right. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining the Action Coach webinar for today. We're going to look at Rethink, Reinvent, and Reopen. Appreciate you joining today. And we're really talking more about how to restart your business as the economy starts to reopen. And the biggest risk we have, I think, for a lot of business owners is something going wrong right now, because the impact and consequence can be pretty devastating. So we have to understand also, as we move into the new economy, going back to the old way of doing business is probably not an option. So there's only one new way of doing things in your business, and helping identify that, how to re-engage with the marketplace is going to be so important. So everything really needs to be rethought and simplified, especially for your team as they come back to work with retraining and also new processes and protocols that are required. Having an understanding that reopening the business is going to be tougher than it was shutting it down. So let's jump right in. We're going to go through 9 must-do strategies to get your business not just coming out of the lockdown, but to help it to take market share, which is really what we want to be able to accomplish. So number 1 is to re-educate and prepare. And I'll read this quote from Thomas Edison. Unfortunately, there seems to be far more opportunity out there than ability. We should remember that good fortune often happens when opportunity meets with preparation. So that's really the emphasis here, is take the time to prepare when you reopen. Understand the current rules that are out there, the new protocols, the new CDC guidelines, and apply them to your business. There's a tremendous amount of information out there through our local chamber, local government agencies, to help your business be able to adapt and align with those requirements. Something around cleaning and screening. Pre-COVID, which I guess I could call it BC, before COVID, typically our human nature in the workplace was to clean and organize behind the scenes. We didn't do that in front of the customer. We waited till they left or they weren't around, and you went behind and cleaned and all that. That's completely changed. The assumption now is to clean in front of them so they see the extra effort you're going through to take care of them. And that demonstrates that you care for their safety and their well-being by doing that extra effort of cleaning, wiping things down, sanitizing while they're there. And even though it may appear to be an inconvenience to them, they're going to feel a lot more comfortable. And as Action Coach, we actually call it removes the FUD. Okay, FUD for us, FUD, is fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So as you're able to demonstrate removing the FUD through your cleaning and sanitation processes, that's going to be really important. Also understand, how do you supply your PPE materials for your team, and in some cases for your clients, and how do you cover these costs? What strategies are you going to implement in order to cover the additional costs for safety supplies? And are you able to bake that in to your product pricing and understanding your pricing strategy around that? Or is it a separate fee that you tack on, almost like a fuel surcharge that you would include when the price of gas has gone up? So it's an evolving environment, and we have to be able to be ready to change and adapt quickly as the customers' expectations and requirements have changed. Number 2 is around rebuilding your team. Bring great people onto your team is about demonstrating that size really doesn't matter. People do. So it's important as a business owner, a business leader, and you're organization to display confidence, because that confidence becomes infectious, if I can use that word, and it rolls off to your team. In the opposite of that, fear, anxiety, and lack of confidence also can become infectious to your team and have a negative influence on them. Having flexibility with your team now, especially with the ability to give them more options for working virtually. They may not, yet feel comfortable coming into an office environment. So you may have to modify some of the protocols around how your people work and how they function and still be productive and effective in what they're doing. It's important to remember right now, as your team comes back, to focus on rebuilding a community with your team. And you can do that through effective communication and increase the level of communication you're having with your team members, especially with all the changes that are going on. It's going to be likened to them starting the job from day one almost, with all the new standards and protocols that they're having to learn and incorporate into their daily processes. Also, have an understanding that your productivity may suffer right now as you start to reopen. You're not going to be able to hit the same run rate that you did when you closed on a per employee or on a team basis. So having patience and understanding around productivity is going to take time to get back to where you were before the lockdown. And again, it's really because it's almost like you've hired a brand new team and they're starting from day one. Action item number 3 is develop some new deals. The quote here is, when one has a great deal to put into it, a day has 100 pockets. So creating great deals and doing so based on your target audiences. And notice that that audience word is plural. It's not a single target audience. And that's something we work with our clients pretty intensely, is defining multiple target audience that you want to go after and having separate specific marketing strategies and messaging for each of those targets that speaks their language. And so as you come up with deals and offers and promotions for your target market, make sure that they are ones that are going to entice and attract new clients to your business. The first step here is really how do you engage and bring back your top 20% customers before COVID happened? In identifying who that is through a customer segmentation analysis, and then creating special offers directly to your top clients. We call them your A customers. Also including offers for first responders. Right now, that's so important, is to provide them some special deals and show appreciation and recognition for their efforts and the risks that they've taken through your business. And how can you do that effectively and really, through that, be able to create what we call raving fans for your business. And if you can do that through first responders, they become your sales team and they're going to share your service with their friends and family and create that word of mouth and help you to get referrals to your business through that first responder target market. Also, continue to go after your existing customers and look to attract new people to your business. This is a great opportunity to revamp your marketing approach and create a plan that targets a new audience, a new marketplace that you maybe haven't targeted before. And make sure it's not a one-time deal. Action Coach has done a lot of studies that say coming out of this, it's going to be important to have deals that run for multiple weeks, not just a few days. It's going to take time to bring customers back. There's going to be stages and phases of people coming out of lockdown, especially as the government moves through phase 1, 2, and 3. I think we're in phase 3 now. And so you need to make sure your deals cover each of those phases so that a different wave of customers are attracted to come to your business through each of those phases. Number 4, reopening announcements is going to be really important to be able to create that buzz and excitement around your business reopening. So create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once. Whether you're ready or not, put the plan into action. So build up the excitement to your reopening. Treat it almost like a save the date announcement that you would have for a wedding or an engagement or something like that, or a special event. Announce each step of your reopening and allow your team members to also make announcements through your social media platforms on your business, but get your team involved, because that will create their excitement, and their passion for your product or service is going to rub off on your audience that's going to see that in your social media. And make sure every deal and promotion you're coming up with is also announced. And that's a great way to have multiple deals and allow different team members to make those announcements, on it, maybe one a day for the next week. Just be able to continue to have a reason to communicate offers and promotions to your market. And any other announcements you're making, it doesn't matter how small an activity or a stage of your business reopening, find a reason to announce it. So if you've got your, first 20 customers that come in, find an opportunity to maybe do a testimonial interview with them, just a quick video, 1 or 2 minute video on social media about their experience and what they thought about coming back to your business, and post that. That's tremendously powerful right now, are video testimonials about your business, because that has become the #1 watched, engaged media through social media. Number 5 is redo your celebration. So it's really about being celebration of survival and coming out of this. Oprah Winfrey has a good quote: "The more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is to celebrate in life." And so some businesses are actually working with the chamber to do another ribbon cutting for their business, and using that as a reason to announce their reopening and celebrating their survival and their team coming back to work, being able to bring them back on board. And then celebrate your customers, like doing the video testimonials. Engage with your local newspaper, radio, news media, whoever that is, and see if they will tag on to making those announcements. And then celebrate with your community, and make sure that you're able to demonstrate how you are part of the business and local community. And of course, make sure it's something that's memorable and something that's newsworthy. All right, number 6 is rerun your numbers. So now we're really talking about your financials and understanding the scorecard for your business. So if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And it's so important for business owners to know how are they doing as we come out of this lockdown. So every decision right now needs to be either make or cost. And it's important to manage our spend and our cash flow as we come out of this, and look for ways to leverage our resources to be able to do more with less and manage that cost. Action Coach really does reinforce all of our clients to have a weekly break-even analysis and a profit break-even. And what that means is each week we are able to determine what is your break-even point for your business that includes a budgeted profit for that given week, and spread over 52 weeks. That would equate to your annual budget of profit that you'd like to make and you've budgeted to make for your business. Well, we then break that down into weekly increments so that the break-even analysis includes that profit number. Anything above and beyond that now is extra profit beyond what you have budgeted for the year. And it really does give great line of sight to your performance and being able to share that with your team in terms of at what point in the week did the business break even, right? And so you try to almost make it a weekly competition to beat the break even earlier each week. And how do you do that? How many transactions or how many clients and customers do you need to have each week to reach that break even point? And then many businesses have been able to take advantage of the PPP and EIDL financial assistance. So making sure you're using that money wisely. I think a lot of businesses are setting up a separate bank account to be able to deposit those funds and pull from it specifically to cover things that will allow them to request and apply for forgiveness down the road in the next few weeks and months. So making sure you're spending that in the right way and you understand the requirements to be able to get the forgiveness approved, and then make sure those funds are spent in that way. And of course, managing cash flow is going to be so important, and being able to predict your cash flow by developing a cash flow forecast. And typically, these are reports your accountant or CPA will not provide you. Typically, they're providing you a snapshot in time of your financial numbers today, or they're looking backwards at your historical performance over time. Rarely do they provide a forecast of performance. And so that's something to develop and understand. What are the assumptions going into that cash flow forecast of your spending plan and your revenue expectations? And from that, being able to see if you may be at risk looking ahead 2-3 months ahead for that cash flow forecast. Number 7, rethink your marketing and sales approach. Our owner is Brad Sugars, and this is his quote: "The world has changed, so people's motivations and decision making has also changed. So should your marketing message and sales strategies." So we're dealing with a different marketplace and a different mindset for our customers. So we want to make sure that we do more educating them of the benefits of your product or service versus selling your business to them. And the marketing message and the mediums and platforms you're using to communicate that message has definitely changed in the last 2 months. So it's really what we suggest doing is developing a SWOT analysis. If you've never done that before, SWOT is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And it's really breaking down that SWOT analysis to look at both internal risk and opportunity and external risk and opportunity for your business as it relates to your marketplace and your competition, and being able to perform a comparison of what you're bringing to the marketplace compared to your competition. How are you different and unique? And remembering that your clients all have FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So how can you communicate with them through your marketing and your selling that removes that FUD? And so what would that look like? Moving into testimonials in your marketing through video, which we mentioned earlier, is going to be extremely beneficial. And making sure that in your selling process, you have scripts in place that are question-based, and the questions are centered around your customer's needs, desires, or requirements. And then therefore you're able to provide them a solution and be able to speak to the outcome of your product and service, and not necessarily just what you're providing for them of what you're selling. So a great example we provide is if you go to the hardware store to buy a can of paint, we would coach that business owner of the hardware store that the customer isn't buying a can of paint. They're buying a painted bedroom. That's the outcome. And so when you think about it in that way, now you're able to provide them a solution, a full solution to what they need, instead of just the transactional purchase of that can of paint. Now you can understand that you want to provide them with all of the ancillary things that come with that: the paintbrush, the roller, tape, plastic, and maybe even a class on how to do painting in different ways, and how, so it's that more robust approach to educating your clients on that solution. And then the last bullet is really important, is make sure you're going back into your database of past clients that maybe haven't purchased from you before, or at least in the last few months, and reach back out to them another time. This is a great reason to go back to old customers, old clients that left for whatever reason, and attract them back to your business. This could be customers in your current target market, and you just need to show them that you desire their business and you'd like to bring them back into the fold. Number 8, so important, is to rethink everybody. And during this time, there's a lot of people we need to thank. And it's more than just good manners, it's just good spirituality, which is a quote here. So a mindset of gratitude is going to be really important for business leaders as we come back into reopening with our teams, thanking the team, the customers, all of the stakeholders tied to your business, especially right now, bankers and accountants who are providing us a tremendous amount of support and help with the PPP loans and the financial assistance, and helping us navigate how to apply for the loan, and then also what's going to be coming soon, how to navigate applying for forgiveness of that money. And I know I've many people in my network that are commercial bankers and CPAs, and those guys are working 12, 14, 16-hour days, just helping to coach and provide training and guidance to business owners around all of the requirements and regulations related to the financial assistance. Another thing we encourage you to do is when you provide a thank you, especially to clients that have purchased from you, is do a handwritten note, whether it's a postcard or whatever it might be. The reason for that is because it's so rare. When they receive that, it sticks in their mind as, hey, this business is different than all the others I've dealt with. And it just helps to reinforce making that customer a repeat customer, and then eventually a raving fan of your business. And then we even want you to thank the media and the politicians as they're doing their best to navigate this pandemic and had the phases that we're going through. The Strike Force Texas, that's trying to allow us to get through this without causing additional risk. And then fellow business owners, especially if you have an opportunity to create a strategic partnership with other businesses that complement your product or service, this is a great time to reach out to other businesses to say, hey, how can we collaborate and create synergy in partnering together and selling our services in some way, in a collaborative way. So the chart here is really walking us through what action coaches define the 4 phases of what we're going through right now. And if you recall back in March timeframe, February, March, we were really in the dive phase, right? Where the lockdowns were happening, the level of business was dropping rapidly. And then we spent a couple of months in the survive phase here in the blue. And we are now moving into this 3rd phase called drive. And it really comes to a decision point here where the star is, where we're allowed to start to reopen our business. And we have 3 different paths that our business can take. The path on the bottom is where we don't have good line of sight to our spending, our cash flow, and we haven't done a great job with a new marketing plan to generate new revenue. And so our cash flow challenges will continue for the next few months with the risk of an eventual closure of the business. So we definitely want to avoid that. The one in the middle is where you are able to, through brute force, able to fight through generating business, reopen effectively, but you still haven't developed a robust marketing plan. And so that's going to allow you to survive, but it's not really going to allow your business to thrive coming out of this and to take market share. And so we have defined that as tough trading as you go through the end of the year. We really want to see businesses on that red curve at the top where they are able to thrive. They have buoyant trading. They are very successful in addressing and engaging their target market and even create a new target market for their business. If they had taken a part of their business to be virtual or delivery based, they may want to keep that and have that as an extra part of their business model. So that's where we really want to work toward which path is your business going to follow as we move into reopening. So the last one is number 9, is to rewrite your plan. And the quote here says, going into business without a business plan is like going on a mountain trek without a map or GPS support. You'll eventually get lost and starve. So we really do encourage a 90-day business plan coming out of this that helps you navigate this reopening period, which we are defining as a sprint. And so a sprint means that the mentality and mindset of the entire business needs to be all hands on deck, flexibility and patience, and making sure everyone understands the customer is going to come first, and we do everything we can to satisfy their requirements and even exceed their expectations right now. So it's going through each step in your process and walking through what are the negative and positive risks related to each step in your process, whether it's your sales process or your actual delivery of that product and service, and how that looks different. And also where you where you have the opportunity to get help, get guidance, get an outsider's perspective on your business. So I'm just going to quickly just kind of walk through this timeline, similar to the chart we saw earlier. Action Coach is defining that where we are now is between phase 3 and phase 4, where we're moving into the sprint phase. And really the characteristics of sprint is to lead from the front as the business leader with maximum effort from everyone on the team, a higher focus on existing clients and getting them back, but also developing new marketing. And that with that new marketing, as you deploy it, test and measure to see if you're getting the results you expect from that new marketing strategy. And we want, Action Coach defines marketing as just simple math. You should get 100% return on investment for every dollar you spend in marketing. And we work with clients to make sure they have reports and dashboards and scorecards in place to be able to track and measure their marketing effectiveness. And then we move eventually into phase 5, which is probably going to be in the Q4 time period toward the end of the year. And that's where we move into a continuous improvement mode, where we look at your systems and processes. What are some new protocols and processes that are not going to go away that we need to incorporate and systematize, and in some cases automate instead of just doing it through brute force? How can we incorporate that and systematize it so now it becomes reliable and consistent and repeatable for your team to deliver that product or service at a high level of meeting your customer's expectation? So to finish up, just a couple of bullets here. One, if you we encourage you to list or write down 5 ideas that you need to take action on in your business. And Action Coach, we're always available here to help support developing your 90-day plan, especially as you go to reopen your business. And just a couple of follow-up items. I like to describe what business coaching is. I think a lot of people out there get it confused with consulting, where a consultant comes in, they perform an activity or a project, and then they leave. And if you need that done again, you have to rehire that consultant to come back in. And there's been no knowledge transfer or learning on the part of the business owner. Coaching is different because we're really an apprenticeship where we grow your existing business through education, application of that knowledge, and then holding you accountable to test and measure what you've implemented. And we focus on getting results so that the investment in coaching more than pays for that investment. And you get a customized business education that you get to keep forever. And so when you're ready to invest in that next business or open a second or third location, you've acquired the knowledge from the Action Coach tools and strategies that you can now apply in that next location. So we're really considered a long-term partner helping you achieve success in business and in life. So one of the statistics that we've measured in typical workshops or seminars that people attend is 85% of people will attend a seminar and then they don't do anything with the information they've heard or learned from that webinar. So the goal here is for 100% people to take action. And the way to do that, we have a couple of things that we offer to businesses in the Lake Houston area. One of them is this what we call a business or a leadership strategy review. And it's a complimentary 2-hour coaching session, basically, where we look at what are some constraints and obstacles in your business today? What are any adjustments that need to be made in the business to adapt to the marketplace? And then we look toward the future and we say, what are your 2 to 3 year objectives for the business? And any obstacles that might be encountered in that 2 to 3 year period. So that's something we always offer to all of our seminar and workshop attendees. Alternatively, we also provide a 2-day workshop called Business Rich. And it is a full 2-day workshop that's packed with training on the Action Coach system. And so you can see listed in the bullets there all the different areas that we cover. And it is a hands-on, interactive, with homework workshop that we typically do on consecutive Fridays or consecutive Mondays. So there's a week between the 2 days of the workshop to give the participants time to do the homework before the next workshop comes. We really do have a lot of intentionality of making sure you walk away from that workshop with a solid business plan and actions that you can go apply in your business and make improvements immediately. So if you're interested in learning about either of those, the free coaching session, or want to learn more about that 2-day workshop, you can reach out to me, Kevin Mills at actioncoach.com. Certainly welcome you to connect to me through social media. I provide a tremendous amount of business fundamentals, tips, guidance, insights through my social media every week. So I'd love for you to connect with me there. And I'm going to stop the recording here and see if there's any questions.